Hello and welcome or welcome back to the Import Export Hub channel, everybody. Bais Bogdan here, your host for the next 10 minutes or so. Thanks for joining me, by the way. I hope you are all doing great. And skipping the small talk, allow me to briefly cover Romania's import and export dynamics for 2023. And I will start with the exports, who in 2023 amounted to some 100.6 billion dollars overall, which is some 3.9% higher than in 2022, with Germany here, Italy, and France as main destinations, followed in this top 10 list by others like, I don't know, Hungary or the Netherlands, and it ends here with the Czech Republic, to whom Romania managed somehow to export some $3.2 billion worth of products, which is almost 16% more than in the previous year, so 2022. And guys, we immediately see that Romania's exports are mostly concentrated towards the European Union, with Turkey the only country in this top 10 list outside the EU scope. Now, relative to the compound annual growth rate, and limiting myself to this 2019-2023 time frame, the exports overall had a positive 5.4%, with all the top 10 partners having positive figures, while on a year-on-year basis we have a 3.9% increase relative to the exports, which is some $3.8 billion more in absolute terms, with only one country from this top 10 list managing a contraction, some 20%, and this country is Hungary, who most probably decreased its petroleum imports from Romania, but this is another story. And guys, speaking of year-on-year changes, I've highlighted here the top 10 absolute changes, both positive and negative. And briefly, on the negative side, Hungary has the largest change, but important negative changes were registered also in relation with Republic of Moldova, Austria, or Egypt, to name just a few, while on the positive side, Germany had the largest absolute positive change. We see here some $1.7 billion, followed by others like special categories, which most probably is linked with NATO and the war in Ukraine, while other impressive positive changes were recorded in relation with Italy, France, or Belgium, again to mention just a few. So guys, in just a few words, these were the highlights concerning Romania's export dynamics for 2023 in what concerns the trading partners, while later on I will cover also the products, or headings rather, at 4-digit level. So if you want to find out what actually drove Romania's exports and imports also in terms of products, hang on for just a few more minutes, as I will now cover the imports. And guys, here we see that the overall imports amounted to some $131.9 billion, with Germany, Italy, and Hungary as main partners, which were followed in this top 10 list by others like, I don't know, Poland or China. And it ends here with Austria, from whom Romania managed to import in 2023 some $4.6 billion worth of products. Now, relative to the compound annual growth rate, we see a positive 6.42%, with all the top 10 partners having positive figures, while on a year-on-year basis we have a slight decrease of 0.6% relative to 2022, which is some $776 million in absolute terms, with Bulgaria registering the largest contraction, as in most probably in 2022 Romania imported massive amounts of petroleum via Bulgaria. And if you ask me, the same holds true in what concerns Turkey, who registered $1 billion contraction. Now, on the positive side, we have almost $2 billion increase relative to Germany, some $1.2 billion in what concerns Kazakhstan, or I don't know, we have $655 million from Libya. And of course, these last two partners are related to petroleum imports. So, guys, with both the overall exports and imports covered, at least in terms of Romania's trading partners, let's see the products on a four-digit level also. And I will start with Romania's top 10 export performers, if you want. And here we have parts and accessories for tractors or motor vehicles. So we are talking about heading 8708, who had $1 billion expansion in 2023. It was followed by motor cars with $745 million, while heading 8537 finishes the podium, so to say, with some $666 million positive change. But other impressive figures were recorded in relation with the exports of rape or colza seeds, pneumatic tires of rubber, or electrical transformers, all with very, very good figures, if you ask me, not only on a year-on-year basis, but also in what concerns the compound annual growth rate for these last 5 years, meaning that this is not just an opportunistic approach, but rather a trend. Now, moving to the other side of the table, so the top 10 headings that registered the largest absolute negative changes. And here we have commodities. What else? This is where the volatility resides. And basically, we see $1 billion contraction relative to petroleum, some $522 million in what concerns electrical energy, and some $505 million for heading 7208. So we are talking about flat rolled products of iron or non-alloy steel. But important contractions were also registered in relation with maize or corn, sunflower seeds, or wood sawn or chipped lengthwise. This last heading registering in 2023 $208 million contraction, as most probably the Chinese and the North African buyers pushed the brake pedal. So guys, these were the positive and negative changes in what concerns the export flow, and now I will cover the import one, where the top 10 headings that registered the biggest absolute positive changes were motor cars, and we have some $818 million more imports in 2023 relative to the previous year. It was followed by medicines, so heading 3004, and on the third spot here we have 8708. So we are talking about parts and accessories for tractors or motor vehicles with almost $670 million more imports. And the list goes on with bombs, grenades, missiles, and the like, who saw a $460 million increase, which is understandable, I guess, with the nearby war in Ukraine. Then we have meat of swine, fresh, chilled, or frozen, and the top 10 list ends here with heading 8504. So we are talking about electrical transformers and static converters, who had a $169 million increase. Now, in what concerns the performers with negative changes, again, we have commodity-related products here, with petroleum gases leading the way with some $2.3 billion contraction. Then we have petroleum oils with some $1.45 billion, and on the third spot we have electrical energy with some $1.33 billion contraction, and the list goes on with fertilizers, sunflower seeds, coke and semi-coke coal, and it ends here with heading 7214. So we are talking about bars and rods of iron or non-alloy steel, who saw a $209 million contraction. And guys, with this being said, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you've liked it. Don't forget to hit those small vanity buttons below this video. And as usual, until next time, keep your business safe. Thanks.